Welcome to Beechwood High, known for its top-tier academics, competitive sports, and a grisly murder. You've got a reputation in Beechwood as an amateur detective with a knack for figuring people out, but how well do you know yourself? What is your body type? Body 1? Body 2? For the purposes of this, we'll go with body 1. What do you look like? Interesting hairstyle. Face 1. Face 2. Face 3. Face 4. Leaves something to be desired with all these faces. We've got Nancy. That's the hairstyle. Velma. Oh boy. Enola. Veronica. And Daphne. Let me take out the diamond one again. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm gonna go with Daphne. Now, what are your pronouns? Is this you? Great. We didn't name our character, by the way. Chapter 1. Blood in the Water. September 16th, 11:45 p.m. It's Beechwood High's homecoming night, but the dance was cut short when the Queen herself was found dead. How could we let this happen? Your freshman English classroom has become a makeshift interrogation room. You feel numb, only half aware of the police and their questioning. State your name for the record. Valentine Stone, but for the record, I usually go by my middle name. Blake? Sure. I know you're new to the force, Murph, but try to keep up. Blake is the teen detective I told you to watch out for. Officer Tate isn't exactly your biggest fan. Cops don't tend to like it when you're better than them at their own jobs. Yeah, Tate and I go way back. He's the cop who handled my sister's disappearance. Remind me, officer, how close were you to solving that one before you gave up? We're not here to talk about your sister. We're here to discuss the murder that took place here tonight. I'll remind you, Blake, that you're here solely as a witness to the incident that occurred. You're not in trouble. That remains to be seen, though. Officer Murphy is a pretty convincing good cop to Tate's bad cop, but you have to wonder how genuine his nice guy persona really is. What really happened here tonight? Did you know? Did you have anything to do with the death of Gabriella Navarra? You squeeze your eye shut, but all you can think about is the smell of chlorine, the ribbon of blood in the water, and Gabby floating lifelessly. Answer the question! Will tell you everything I know. I just want to find out what happened to Gabby. I'll help in any way I can. Why don't you walk us through everything that happened tonight? And don't leave anything out. Gabby invited me to the dance, along with her group of friends, so it all started when she came to pick me up. Earlier that night, you're in the kitchen with your dog, Puck. Sending an email to one of your clients. This case was a doozy. Infidelity with a side of improper business practice. Attached are the photos you requested of your husband in a state of undress with his assistant. It's a cute dog, though. If he fights you on the divorce, remind him that indecent behavior was witnessed by a minor, namely myself. Let's see him come back from that one. You send the email and shut your laptop, then lean over to give the dog a scratch behind the ears. You know how this goes, boy. It's not a Saturday night unless I make a new enemy. At that moment, someone knocks on your door, your next client, right on time. You push away from the counter and go to greet her. Hey, Blake. Ready to go? Gabriella Navarro, better known as Gabby. Senior class president, straight-A student, captain of the swim team, and presumptive homecoming queen. She hired you to handle the ballot of tampering at homecoming dance. You wouldn't have taken such a trivial job for anyone else, but, well, Gabby's a nice girl. Eh. Evening, Gabby. You look amazing as always. Are you sure you really need my help tonight? Even with the discount I gave you, I'm not cheap. I'd be willing to refund you if you decide you don't need an investigator. Nuh-uh, no way. You're not gonna weasel your way out of homecoming that easily. Hey, I had to at least try. You know dances aren't exactly my thing, but if you're sure you need me to come, we should probably go over the details of your case. We'll have time for that later. I know you're coming to investigate, but you should know. But you should at least try to have some fun? You say that like I don't know how. Can you blame me? You're still in high school, and you're already a workaholic. Now, go get your cute butt into the fanciest outfit and meet me at the limo. We'll wait for you to get ready. At her insistence, you head up to your room and rummage through your closet for something nice to wear. Gabby's right. If I want to blend in at the dance, I should at least look like I'm there to have fun. Diamond choice. Alright, so we got the initial outfit we saw. Or we've got the black dress. Classic black. Beautiful, really. Well, let's take a look at this one. Almost feels like it's the 60s or 70s with this one. Perfect. No one will suspect a thing. True to her word, Gabby is still waiting outside when you get back. Okay, you look banging. That dress has to be custom fitted. I may have had it made when I was investigating a charity gala last month. Sorry, hon. I'm gonna put a ban on detective talk for the entire ride to school, which reminds me... She stares pointedly at the Polaroid camera hanging from your arm. I'm all for accessorizing, but is that really necessary? It's part of my process. If anyone asks, I'll just tell them it's a photo booth. Fair enough. Just don't catch any of the bad angles, okay? Laughing, she steers you by the shoulders and practically shoves you into the waiting limo. Okay, we're ready. Everyone here knows Blake, right? Duh. Who doesn't know Beechwood's girl detective? Claudia Fiorello, head cheerleader, Gabby's best friend, former girlfriend of Brett Morris, Beechwood High's most infamous bad boy. Claudia's here with some guy named Dylan. You're pretty sure they're just friends, but it's worth noting she's never looked this happy around Brett. You caught the perv who was still in our cheer uniforms. I never got to thank you for that. Happy to help. No one wants a weirdo prowling around their school. Blake, you've been here 10 seconds and you're already breaking the rules. No more detective talk! I'm with Gabs. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the most epic dance in Beechwood High history. Yeah, this guy really gets around, doesn't he? He has clones running around all over the planet. Seriously, could we invest in some new characters? We pay you enough. You catch the eye of Tyler Woods, Gabby's handsome track star boyfriend, who shoots you a 1,000,000 kilowatt boy next door grin. Alright, so what does Tyler look like? We've got a 1, a 2. Yeah, we're gonna go with 1. I'm glad Gabs invited you, Blake. I don't think I've ever seen you outside of school, and I've definitely never seen you dressed up. You look awesome. Should I be jealous? No, sorry, babe. Just pointing out the obvious. Unlike most of the who's who at Beechwood High, Tyler's not filthy rich, but his relationship with Gabby has propelled him to popularity. Word around the school is that they've been on the rocks recently. You're surprised to see them looking so cozy together. Honestly, Blake, I couldn't believe it when Gabby said you were tagging along. I figured you were too cool for us. If by cool, you mean married to my job, then yeah, you've got me all figured out. Aren't you friends with the mascot girl? Millie or whatever? Why didn't she come along? If she weren't out of town this weekend, she'd be my excuse not to come. We'd be at the movies right now. Well, her loss is our gain, and again, it's a good thing you're here. This is definitely going to be a homecoming to remember. In more ways than one, I'm sure. After a few short minutes, you pull to a stop in front of Beechwood High, the private school of choice for Beechwood's wealthiest. While the others rush in, Gabby pulls you aside and speaks in a low voice. Okay, now, we can plan. Like I told you before, I'm pretty sure the track team is going to rig the votes, so Tyler loses. Tyler's a star runner, and they hate him for it. But I'm not going to let them humiliate him tonight. Okay, well, luckily, it should be simple enough to stop them. I'm junior class secretary, so Mr. Lewis is going to let me tally the votes. Unfortunately, he's the kind of guy to give people the benefit of the doubt, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes, if some of the forgeries slipped past him. Damn, Blake, you really do think of everything. Well, that's why you hired me. I'll find a way to stop them from rigging this thing. All you need to do is focus on having fun. Trust me, Blake, having fun is always on my agenda. You trail after Gabby into the gym, pausing only to admire the decorations. This place looks amazing. The dance committee must have worked their asses off to pull this together. Of course they did. In my administration, everyone pulls their weight. She beams with pride as she gazes around the gym, but snaps to attention when her phone buzzes in her purse. As she reads a text, her smile fades slightly. Urgent homecoming business? Something like that. I have to handle this. I'll be back, I promise. She slips away, disappearing into the crowd. You hover near the snack table, scanning the area for anything that looks suspicious. When suddenly, I am blinded by the light. What the... A camera flashes somewhere and nearby grabs your attention. You turn to find the source. Oh, stop it. Yeah, Mr. Dreamy here. Sorry, didn't mean to sneak up on you. Well, Donovan Navarro, resident cool guy and Gabby's twin brother. You didn't expect to see him within 5 miles of a school dance. Donovan, you're looking fine as always. You're trying to butter me up, so, I don't use your photo in the yearbook. Of course not. I speak nothing but the truth. Well then, I may be obligated to tell you that you're looking pretty fine yourself. I saw someone dressed to the nines and had to get a good shot. I had no idea it was Blake Stone, girl detective. Flatterer. Noticing your camera, he raises his eyebrows. Didn't realize I'd have competition, though. You don't. My camera is strictly for personal use. Personal use? You mean professional investigatory use? I'm not on a job, Donovan. I'm here to relax and enjoy myself like every other red-blooded American teen in this room. You keep your expression impassive and readable. Donovan searches your eyes for a moment, then smiles, putting his camera into his bag. Sure. Then if nothing interesting is gonna happen, I think my work here is done. Leaving already? And here I thought you might stick around to celebrate your sister's win. He shoots you a cheeky salute as he saunters backwards through the door. I'll find some way to make it up to her. Poor Donovan. I can't even imagine what he's feeling right now. After Donovan left, did you, meet back up with Gabby or her friends? No. Not directly, no. I lost him for a little, during the dance. Lost him? You mean you didn't look at all? Why are you smiling smugly? No, I didn't look for them. I had other things to do. I told you, Gabby asked me to come to homecoming to investigate ballot fraud. I was doing my job. So it never came or crossed your mind to try and find them? That's what I just said. Okay, I know there's some tension between you two. That's because Blake's a brat who interferes with police work. Only because you can't do your job. My sister, Perdetta, went missing 4 years ago, and you didn't even come close to finding her. Enough of this. We're not here to pull at old threads. We're here to discuss what happened to Gabby tonight. Yeah, well, you know, just pointing out the fact you suck at your job. You take a deep breath, steadying your breath. You hate to admit it, but Tate has a point. You may not be able to solve your sister's disappearance, but you can help them close Gabby's case. Fine. As I was about to say, it's not like I didn't see Gabby again. I ran into her about an hour later. sometime earlier that night during the dance. You find Gabby in the hallway outside a gym, sitting on the floor. She's cradling her head in her hands, looking miserable. You worried about the votes? She startles a little and stuffs something in her purse as you approach her. Kinda. I feel guilty, I guess. Like, I should have done more to help Tyler out. Don't be ridiculous. The second you caught a whiff of corruption, you called me up to deal with it. If Tyler's votes get sabotaged, it'll be, I'll make sure everyone knows who did it. Let's just say the track team does manage to sabotage Tyler. They could get suspended for it, even expelled. The principal won't do that. Like, half the track kids have donor parents. And half of those parents bribe the principal to let their kids stay on the team. What do you think would happen if that info got out? She bites her lower lip and looks aside. She's clearly not telling you something, and you're worried it might be something serious. Gabby, look, if there's anything you want to talk about... Blake, there you are. Mr. Lewis, Beechwood High's favorite gym teacher, who also happens to be the youngest and best-looking member of the faculty. A throng of students giggle as he walks past. Looking good, Mr. Lewis. Yep. For his part, Lewis barely rags, just shoots him a slight smile. It must be weird knowing half of the students have a crush on him. Hey, Mr. Lewis, is it time to count ballots already? It is, but if you need a little more time to wrap up your conversation... No, go ahead. I don't want to hold up anything. Something's clearly bothering Gabby, and I need to know what. At the very least, I could cheer up her a little. This is your chance, diamond choice. I can spare a few minutes. I can buy you 10 minutes, Blake. Sound good? Perfect. I'll be there soon. Once Mr. Lewis is out of earshot, Gabby turns back to you. I must look pretty miserable, huh? Even Mr. Lewis could tell there was something wrong. He's a perceptive guy. There's a reason he gets along so well with the students. You know, besides the fact he's attractive. Tell me what's going on, Gabby. Is it about homecoming court? Because there's no doubt in my mind that you're gonna win. It's not that. It's more like, even if I do win, what's the point? Why does it even matter? The closer I get to graduation, the more I realize how pointless so much of this is. Take homecoming court. It's just pitting students against each other, and all it does is make people jealous. Uh-huh. It's an archaic thing that should pretty much be removed by now, but you know, I digress. Gabby, I couldn't agree more. It's a glorified popularity contest. I've never understood how it's supposed to build student morale. Exactly. At least with student council, we're trying to make meaningful changes. All the homecoming queen does is look pretty. I had no idea you felt so strongly about this. How could you? I've never said this out loud to anyone before, but even my best friends. I know it seems dumb in the scheme of things, and I try not to dwell too much, but what mark am I really leaving on Beechwood High? Will people all look back on me as anything more than a pretty face? They don't look back on anyone. I'm gonna be honest with you. Who are you in 4 years? I can answer that for you. People will like you, Gabby. And it's not because you're a pretty girl. You care about people, whether they're friends or not. Look what you did for me tonight. Blake, I invited you to homecoming because I needed you to investigate something. But you spent the first hour of the dance making sure I was actually enjoying myself. I don't know where that happened, but okay. Besides, you hired me to look out for someone you love. You must care a lot about Tyler to want to protect him so much. Of course I care about him. He's not just my boyfriend, he's my best friend. See? That's why people voted for you. That's why it'll matter when you become homecoming queen. That's a really sweet way of looking at it. I just hope what you're saying is true. It is. I'm a genius, remember? She laughs brightly, patting your arm. Thanks, Blake. I'm really glad we're hanging out tonight. I wish we'd had more chances to talk like this. Likewise. But we can always talk in the future. Seriously, what's the past tense? Just because you're graduating doesn't mean we'll never see each other again. You can hit me up whenever. You're home for the holidays, and as a perk, I have 0 social life, so I'll be around whenever. You sure you won't be busy with a bajillion cases? Probably, but I can make time for you. She extends her pinky to you, expression turning mock solemn. That settles it. We're friends. I'd say so. You hook your pinky with hers, and she laughs, her smile turning more cheerful. In her, she checks the clock on the opposite wall and hops her feet, smoothing her dress. Looks like your 10 minutes are up. Better get going before anyone has a chance to rig the ballots. Are you sure you're good? You're pretty sure? She's still hiding something, but at the very least, she looks a little happier and she waves her hand, brushing you off. I feel a lot better, I promise. This was exactly what I needed. Now go, before Mr. Lewis comes back looking for you. With a wink, she flounces back to the gym, leaving you alone in the hall. She's already out of earshot when you realize she left something behind. What's this? You stoop to pick up the piece of paper, frowning as you uncrumple it. Something shiny falls out, clattering the ground with a metallic clink. We know what you did! Wrapped around a razor blade. Interesting. Your hands shake as you read the note, mouthing the words silently to yourself. We know what you did, and you're gonna regret it. Someone's threatening Gabby. What the hell for? You take a steady breath and snap a photo of both the razor and the note. Once the photo prints, you toss the razor into a nearby garbage can, but pocket the note, just in case. You just discarded evidence, which may have a fingerprint on it. For an amateur sleuth, you sure are a dumbass. Oh, this will be where we put all of our evidence. In our locker. Jesus. This is bad. I'll have to ask her about it after they announce homecoming court. And then, with a final glance at the gym doors, you head down the hall to find Mr. Lewis. Obviously, I never had the chance to talk to her about the note. Awful convenient, isn't it? You found the body, then you offer up a threatening note no one's seen but you. Why would I lie about that? Here, take the note, check the trash can in the science hallway. You'll find a razor blade. Murphy puts on gloves and takes the note, placing it in an evidence bag. We'll get an officer to retrieve the razor. Any idea who's written this? I genuinely don't know. Everyone loved Gabby, or that's what I thought. Moving on. From there, you went to investigate the ballot boxes, which Gabriella suspected might be rigged. They were rigged. Gabby did the right thing, asking for my help. You rush into the band room where ballots are being counted. Mr. Lewis is already there along with another student. Let me guess it's the other student doing it. But finally, I was worried I was going to have to count all these myself. Alicia Mosby, junior class treasurer, infamous curve runner, ruiner, and clinically diagnosed caffeine addict. What's wrong with that? What? I haven't had my cup of coffee yet. You know, it's one of the reasons why I'm not doing so great with this. I already got started on this box over here, but you two can get to work on those others. You sort through a box that's stuffed to the brim with ballots, taking care to scrutinize them carefully. I'll inspect the handwriting, ink, color, names. Handwriting. You pore over the ballots, carefully studying the handwriting. Sure enough, at least a dozen of the ballots are written in identical script. Bingo. Hey guys. I've got a lot of fake ballots over here. Blake, that's a bold assumption. You could get someone in big trouble for saying that. Like me, for instance? I've been watching the ballot box all night. You really think I'd let someone cheat? Interesting. With all due respect, it's not an assumption, it's a fact. Come check these out. Look at the right handwriting in these. They look pretty similar, don't they? Not just similar, identical. I can't believe I didn't notice before. I think we need to reassess the ballots for anything that might give them away as fake. Feel free to put the iffy ones in a pile. I'll look them over myself to determine if they're forged or not. You've got a keen eye, Blake. You might be cut out for a career in detective work after all. Pretty sure Beechwood PD would disagree with you there, but I'll take the compliment anyway. He chuckles and goes back to work. With smirk, Alicia leans close, whispering, I knew it. Someone hired you to investigate ballot fraud, didn't they? Alicia? Why ask questions you already know the answer to? You're a smart girl. You've already figured out the truth for yourself. True, but thanks for the confirmation. Your secret's safe with me. There was a secret? I thought that would be the end of the excitement for the night. Obviously, I was wrong. About an hour later, I found Gabby's body. You and the other students gather in the gym, waiting expectantly for Mr. Lewis to announce this year's homecoming king and queen. I'm happy to announce this year's homecoming king as Tyler Woods. The entire crowd erupts into cheers as Tyler takes to the stage, save for a few boos from the corner of the gym. He's too closer to hecklers, eavesdropping. What the hell, man? I thought you had forged the ballots handled. I did. Someone must have thrown them out. But who? They scan the area for anyone who might be suspicious, their gazes passing right over you. Dude, I have no idea. Maybe one of the teachers found out. Sorry, boys. You're gonna have to try a lot harder to get past me. Thank you, Beechwood High. Woo! Go Tyler! I'm honored to be your homecoming king. But we all know who the star of tonight is. While the crowd applauds Tyler, you scan the crowd for Gabby, eager to see her reaction, but you don't see her anywhere. You do your best to keep calm, but your fingers curve reflexively around the note in your pocket. This isn't good. Gabby should be waiting for the results. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, this year's homecoming queen is Gabriella Navarro. The crowd goes wild at your side. Claudia squeals and grips your arm tightly. Yes! I knew she would win. The applause echoes through the gym, steady and strong for a few moments, and then it starts to fade. And then, that's when everyone realizes. What the hell? She's not here? A murmur ripples through the crowd, everyone craning their necks to try and catch sight of the missing homecoming queen. The knot in your stomach grows tighter and tighter by the second, and you think of the note, razor blade, and the hopeless look on her face. Blake, what's going on? Did Gabby say anything to you about leaving? No, but she seemed worried about something. Last time I talked to her, she was really stressed. I had a hard time getting her to open up about it. I don't get it. She'd never just leave like that. Finally, the principal takes the mic and manages to calm the crowd. I'm sure this is all a misunderstanding. The chaperones and student council will look for Gabby. Everyone else, please keep calm and stay put. You hurry to the front of the gym and Alicia waves you over. Blake, you take the south wing facilities. Make sure to check the pool and locker rooms. On it. Why did she instruct us where specifically to go? You race as fast as you can to the south wing, peeking in every classroom you pass on your way to the pool. Gabby, everyone's worried about you. No response at all. At the end of the hall, you reach for the door in front of you, opening it just a crack. Listen, I've been through the high school and phasmophobia, man. This is scary. When the pool lights first flicker on, things seem normal. The smell of chlorine, the gentle whirl of the pool filter, and then you see her bobbing up and down in the dive well area. Gabby! Without thinking, you dive into the pool and swim to her. Her waterlogged clothes weigh her down, and you struggle to turn her over. Now on her back, Gabby gazes lifelessly back at you. You tighten your grip around her waist, unable to move. Think, breathe. No, please, no. You open your mouth to call for help, but all that comes out is a scream. You know the rest. They found me in the body, got me changed into some dry clothes, and called you. Did you notice any signs of struggle by the pool? Anything unusual about the corpse? You grimace, conjuring the memory of her body. Well, she was floating. Looked like blood was coming mainstreamly out of her hand. She was floating on her back, which is weird because they said we put her on her back, but, you know, I digress. Her left hand was bleeding a little. She must have cut it on the razor blade. Thinking back to your conversation with Miss Navarro over the evening, did she seem at all intoxicated when you spoke? Intoxicated? No way. Gabby was totally sober. How can you be sure? You said yourself that you lost her for most of the night. I did, but she was lucid when I talked to her. I would have noticed if she was drunk. Well, if she were really close to her, and you would have smelled it. A heavy silence hangs over the classroom at length. Officer Murphy clears his throat. Alright, I see. Thank you, Blake. That's all the questions we have for now. With some hesitation, you scoot your chair back and get shakily to your feet before you leave the classroom. Officer Tate calls out. Let me give you some advice, kid. Your sister had a habit of interfering with the dangers, best left to professionals, and it didn't end well for her. And if you know what's good for you, you'll let us do our job. Officer Tate, you better find out who did this. You never found out what happened to my sister, so I'll stop interfering as long as you actually do the work this time. You're dismissed, Blake. Bitch, I was dismissed the minute I got from this chair. Smack this shit at you. I'll smack the hair back into the top of your head. The next morning, you're sitting on the porch, huddled with a cup of coffee on the steps. You couldn't sleep at all last night. Gabby, what really happened to you? The sound of an approaching siren startles you, and you hop your feet as a police car pulls up in front of your lawn. Officer Murphy and Tate step out. Hello, officers. What are you doing here? Murph here insisted on updating you, even if Miss Navarro's case is officially none of your damn business. You gave us our, only lead, Blake, and since you were the one who found Gabby, I thought you should hear this from us. We got the autopsy report. Sorry, but your friend's death was an accident. Seriously? How are you so sure? We reviewed the evidence and listened to several hours of testimony. Nothing we found indicated foul play. What evidence? As far as I can tell, you didn't collect any. That's because there was none. This is real life. Sometimes people just die. Blake, we're sorry, but your friend's lungs were full of water. The official cause of death was drowning. Gabby was the head of the swim team. You expect me to believe she just drowned? We know Blake, and Gabby probably would have survived if it weren't for the drugs in her system. Your blood runs cold. Drugs? She shot herself up before stumbling into the pool. We found 2 puncture marks on her right arm. With all the level of intoxication, even a strong swimmer would have difficulty, and she was wearing a restrictive dress. But there's no way. Gabby didn't do drugs. She was a good kid who got in a bad crowd. That kind of thing happens in the real world. You do well to learn. Officer Tate, you can kiss my ass. There's no way she just drowned. You're wrong. Says who, your gut? That won't hold up in court. I know that. I'm not an idiot, but something about this just isn't right. Just listen to me, please. You said she injected herself in her right arm, but she was right-handed. She could've used her left hand. Then what about the cut on the palm? Why would she use an injured hand to inject herself into her good arm? At the very least, this could mean someone else injected her. That the person could be held accountable. Look, I know these are all small details, but together they paint a pretty bizarre picture. Tell me I'm wrong. Officer Murphy throws a glance at Officer Tate, but he ignores him. We're done here, Blake. But I said we're done. If you continue to meddle in this, we'll have no choice but to book you for obstruction of justice. I'd like to see you try. But unless you want a criminal record, drop it. I'd like to see you try that too. You're not judge, jury, and executioner. They leave you on the front lawn, getting back into the car and shutting the doors. You stare after them in disbelief, your chest tight. My instincts have never been wrong before. Something happened to Gabby last night, and I'm gonna figure out what. And that's the end of Chapter 1! Very interesting start to this new book. Hopefully you all did enjoy. And if you did so, please drop a like, share the video, share the channel, and also make sure that if you're not already subscribed, to subscribe. And if you are, or going to, make sure to hit that little bell notification. That way you'll receive notification of when all new Choices content is uploaded. But without further ado, we've already did the nanny today. Remember, chapter 2 of this book will be coming up very shortly. And that's pretty much it for today, because all the other books that you normal players get should be out to you and accessible. And if you haven't watched those yet, it would be The Untamable, Princess Swap. Those are all up on the channel for today. So thanks for watching. Love your beautiful faces. Catch y'all later. Peace out.